From the Keno Sports Complex in Tucson, Arizona, it's the 2014 Major League Soccer preseason. Southern Arizona salutations, everyone. Neil Seco with you from the North Stadium, home of FC Tucson in the Premier Development League, founded in 2010 as the defending MLS Cup champion Sporting Kansas City meeting the Western regular season winners, the Portland Timbers, here tonight on a very cool, crisp evening, 66 degrees with winds out of the northwest at 15 miles an hour. Sporting Kansas City playing a couple of nights ago, defeating FC Tucson 1-0, while Portland getting their preseason campaign underway. They were first in the Western Conference. That helped them qualify for the Champions League this year, as well as bowing out in a late run in the U.S. Open Cup semifinal and falling in the Western Conference finals in the playoffs to Real Salt Lake. They feel they have the necessary additions to go even further here in 2014. Our head referee, Bernardo Hosu, leading the teams out on the field. Here are the starting 11s. We'll start with the defending champions, Sporting Kansas City. A new man in goal, that's the big storyline. Eric Kronberg finally gets his chance as Jimmy Nielsen rode out into the sunset with an MLS Cup championship. The back four in front of him, Chance Myers, Aurelian Collin, the MVP of that MLS Cup final. The rookie Peter Schmetz will join Sesanovic, who's recovered from a groin injury early on in this preseason through the first week to get the go tonight. In the midfield, Graham Zusi away with the national team. They won 2-0 earlier today at the StubHub Center over South Korea. He helped set up the first goal, both scored by Chris Wondolowski in a 2-0 victory. But his absence, along with Matt Beasler, allowing some others to get minutes to go. About 45 minutes to begin tonight. Nagamura, Christian Duke, who didn't play any senior minutes as a rookie. He was loaned to Orlando City last year. He'll pair with Claudio Bieler, Sal Zizzo, CJ Sapong, and Dom Dwyer round out the 11 as Portland will kick off. There you see Darlington Nagbe. Always a flair for the dramatic, as Will Johnson takes that opening kickoff. He'll work in the pivot with Ben Zemansky in the middle. And you'll see that peroxide-dyed hair of Gaston Fernandez, the man they expect to deliver the mail when it comes to goal scoring. The Argentine wears the number 10 shirt, and an early foul as we're underway. This is Jorge Villafana, formerly known as Jorge Flores when he was with Chivas USA and won Sueño MLS 5 years ago. They wanted to add left-back depth. Michael Harrington had a fine season last year. He's away with the national team. Villafana starts at the left-back role. There's the Gambian-born Norwegian-bred Ka working in central defense. The other Argentine addition, Norberto Paparato. They can hope will help on set pieces. Jack Jewsbury is the right back. Axel Rudy, Khalif Al-Hassan round out that Portland starting 11 as they're in their Ponderosa green, the light blue from SKC. This is Bieler. Sinovic working it back to Schmetz, 6'6". Quicker than Peter Vermes expected him to be, as he was taken out of UC Santa Barbara, the 41st overall pick. Both these teams played last year to start their preseason out in the desert. 4 games for Portland before returning home for their own tournament. 2 for Kansas City. They'll play in Orlando later in the month. Schmetz. Pressure from Fernandez. Finds Bieler on the release point. Plays that into space. Donovan Ricketts was slated to start in goal, but there has been a change. He looked like he might have fallen awkwardly to start, so Ricketts not in there. It is Weber in the end, who was supposed to play the second 45 minutes. There are 4 keepers in camp for Caleb Porter. Jake Gleason being the other. There's been talk about him being loaned out to their USL Pro affiliate in Sacramento. On the bust through. It's Schmetz, who came and clocked a Rudy, who didn't get the call in the end. Collin, not only scoring in that MLS Cup final, but had what would be the winning PK. Went into sudden death of 14 rounds. Nagamura with Christian Duke. Slew of those KC players with all their depth had to head to Orlando City last year. No more prolific than Dom Dwyer in the whirlwind he went on, scoring 19 goals, including 4 in the championship. 4th minute here and scoreless as the teams catch their footing. This stadium was dedicated back in October. Field's in fine shape. Dwyer claims he was held up there. Paparazzo, 30 years of age, back to track it down. Ka. Now the return to Weber. So Andrew Weber, in his 4th MLS season, 7 years as a pro. He is from the Phoenix area. Actually played for Phoenix FC last season when Seattle loaned him out. Also spent time with San Jose and way back when DC United. Good run here. Zizzo skipping it across, and it is deflected out for the game's first corner kick. Scoreless here in the 5th minute. It is Biela to do the honors, and whipping it out as it skirts across. Duke gonna try and run that down, but it will give way. Jack Jewsbury, originally the captain when this historic club set foot into Major League Soccer. Has given that up to Will Johnson since. Had a little rearranging of his own, back to the right back slot. Schmetz. No duress here. Nagby flicked that out. Sinovic on the throw for Sapong, will not get there. Sapong had the goal in the win over FC Tucson in the midweek. 1-0 the final. That came assisted from Biela. Andrew Weber is 30 years of age as he sets it forward. Good play down by Nagamura. Bringing Biela in motion. Now sliding it across on the first opportunity, but right into the midst of Weber. Nagamura started that sequence with a good nod down in the midfield. Right now, Portland also battling the win. That's where they're headed in this opening 45. Biela, a 10-goal scorer last season. Chance Myers, 48 hours removed from inking a new deal. He's out there at the right back, and he's dispossessed. Al Hassan squaring that for Fernandez and trying to start the run of Urruti. But Scales out of play. Portland will have the throw, as you can see, in the 8th minute. Jewsbury looking for Nagby there, but he was in a straitjacket from Sinovic, and then Biela is held up. 17-10-7 last season for the defending champs. 58 points, a few off their pace of 2 seasons ago. They don't much care, though. Walking away with the second trophy in team history, 2000 being the other. Here's the left back out of Creighton, Duke. Finding Nagamura. Back wide now for Myers. Long for Zizo. Really what made him attractive, being a wide player. He spent the last few years with Portland, but only featured in 10 games last season. Missed 10 because of a meniscus problem. They're coming back from Dusseldorf in the second Bundesliga. Speaking of Dusseldorf, Schmetz, the young rookie center back for Kansas City, played with their youth teams. Against the fierce wind, looking to find their attack. Portland will have the throw after 9 minutes here. Will Johnson, breakout season, 2013. Stone of Taylor Porter's system. There's an energy to this group right now. They feel they've found the pieces. Of course, getting their feet, both these teams, through the first week. Nagby. This is Fernandez. Double-figure goals 2 and 3 seasons ago, but very quiet in his last outings before coming over to Portland. Estudiantes de La Plata. Jewsbury. Nagby trying to dance in the space. Duke doing a fine job. Sapong. Nagby got away with one there, but he continues on. Fernandez spraying it. Al Hassan brought it in. Collins sends away. Dwyer left that for Bieler. In the end, it's back in possession of Cobb. Acquired midsummer. Exception of a game. The red card against Columbus, featured and started in 20 matches. The postseason playing in all 4. Portland bowed out to Real Salt Lake. Free kick upcoming here in the 12th minute. The grandstands, as you can see, hold just a shade over 2,300 people. A good crowd on hand, bundled up. The Southern Arizona breeze. That was delivered, and there is Fernandez finding the end of it after Arudi had the initial jump from the Villafana cross. So Portland's first look of danger ends up with an Eric Kronberg goal kick. The guy picked by Peter Vermees and the staff to take over the reins from Jimmy Nielsen. They brought in Andy Greenebaum in the offseason. I've already loved his addition to the locker room, his work ethic. Kronberg, despite only 5 career appearances in league play, he was really cutting his teeth last year in the Champions League. They feel he's ready. Again, trying to attack down that wide side right with Zizo. Villafana scattering it away. Arudi, an acquisition from Toronto in the middle of last year. Wynn kind of checked that up, felt kindly to Nagby. And in the open field, he's so fun to watch, and there's Collin with the booking. He had one of those in the MLS Cup final. There's controversy surrounding if there should have been another one in that game, and he gets the first booking of this friendly here tonight in the 13th minute. Sapong picked that off. Weakly hit. It falls to the middle. Zizo returning. Kronberg, ironically, was taken in the same draft as Greenabaum. It was the 40th pick in the 4th round. Spending time at Cal and Fresno State, but the termination of Fresno State's program led him to finish out his scholastic era at Cal. Well, this is the commencing of the preseason, essentially across the land. Much like the Grapefruit or Cactus League in baseball, you've got MLS split across in Arizona and Florida. Staggered throughout the month, but the season fast approaching. You can watch hundreds of live and archive MLS games on your phone, tablet, or computer with MLS Live. Order today to receive 20% off the regular price. Offer ends February 19th. Visit live.mlssoccer.com to subscribe. Scoreless opening quarter hour. A soupy sky that has persisted really for the last 3 or 4 hours over this North Stadium at the Keno Sports Complex. But any type of rain shower off in the distance in the mountains. Nagbe slipped. Bieler hits the roadblock that is Paparazzo. The foul given. Hosu, our referee, assisted tonight by Opolinar Mariscal and Charles Farr. Urruti did well to hold that up against Collin. Flourishing out to Fernandez, who's dropped a lot on the midfield to help with the numbers so far. At least that was the point of emphasis from Caleb Porter. Al Hassan finding Urruti. And that drifts out of the range of Zemansky. Added for depth last season. Of course, knows Porter well from his time at Akron. That turned in by Jewsbury, but Kronberg, no problem. Zizo nearly dispossessed by Johnson. And now Portland starting to find some pressure as the wind intensifies. Christian Duke played collegiately, was a torero at San Diego. The 14th pick in the supplemental draft in 2013. That was done away with this year as they went to the 3rd and 4 rounds proper in the super draft. Many of those bodies on both teams hoping for just a shot, a chance to make an impression. Tough enough for even 2 picks now to find their way onto the roster, especially when you have the talent these teams do. Villafana threads that ahead for Al Hassan. Good 30-yard run there, but Fernandez tapped back, and Villafana had to hustle just to keep that. And the attack again for Portland. Off a heavy first touch that cost Al Hassan the possession. Sloppily served over the head of Sapong, right back to Jewsbury. A bear hug down in front of the Timbers bench. Al Hassan is fouled party. You see the captain, Will Johnson. off the restart. Jewsbury and Zemansky. Schmetz has the size advantage and using the leverage over Arudi. A foul here. With Duke taking the restart. No Beasler, no Zuzi, no Failhaber. Away with the national team. Harrington for Portland likewise. Also some names of significance missing. Diego Valerian. His fantastic inaugural season in Major League Soccer, earning him Newcomer of the Year, Best 11. Really kind of helping the pathway for Paparazzo and Fernandez to make their way to MLS. He had sports hernia surgery, as did Steve Zakawani. With the wing play that Caleb Porter is looking for. Gummed in the middle there as Dwyer was turned about by Zemansky. As he moves gingerly, and Kansas City trying to get back on the offensive. Those two, Zakawani and Valeri, a couple of weeks away. It is scoreless here in the 20th minute. Arudi crying in pain. And down here about 30 yards out. The unfortunate boot of Collins stepping on him. Incidentally. But the foul comes with it. And a Portland free kick. All those great fans of SKC, they brave the frigid temperatures for MLS Cup, and single game tickets are now on sale for Sporting Kansas City's first 9 home matches at Sporting Park, including the CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinal against Cruz Azul. And on that service, Portland, they wanted to be better defensively. They almost showed their merit offensively. It's headed out wide. Kronberg with the goal kick. Speaking of that Champions League quarterfinal against Cruz Azul, that's coming up March 12th and 19th. Of course, the MLS Cup rematch with Real Salt Lake. Visit sportingkansascity.com/tickets for more information. So 2 good pieces of service have allowed Portland's best looks of the opening 21 minutes. Hassan goes careening into Collin. Zizzo trying to wedge his way against Ka. Now here is the Frenchman. Turned 28 in March, 4th MLS season. Looks it across, and Schmetz, the rookie, dealing with Arudi. And Arudi is really good at advanced pressure high up the field. Of course, doesn't necessarily need to be in the final third. And earns the foul from Schmetz. Halfway through the opening 45. Agby. Splitting out of that midfield pinwheel, and then Johnson tried to float it forward for Arudi, but the flag up for offside. Well, the Timbers have their 3rd annual Rose City Invitational coming up at Jeld-Wen Field, February 23rd through March 1st. The Earthquakes, the new look, will be there with the Vancouver Whitecaps and Jamaican club Portmore United Tickets start at just $13. Weber on the rollout. Paparazzo. Tigre, his club for almost 7 years in Argentina. Goal. A centurion mark with 100 games played. Collin, he's on a caution. Finds Duke after the return. Fernandez tracking after him. Nagamura starts the run of Zizou before it is scattered away. 24 minutes complete. Scoreless here. Sinovic. With Duke, there's a ball on the field. Back of the halfway line. Play halted for the moment. Portland is back in action on Wednesday. They'll take on Houston. Seattle and San Jose are also making their way to town. We'll have those games for you here on MLSsoccer.com. Collin. Lob that forward with the forehead. Slip pass, Sinovic. Urruti draws another foul. "22 years old, this kid. Goal in 4 starts after he came over to Portland. Played 2 games with Toronto FC. Battling here against Schmetz. Fernandez trying to send it right back in. Kronberg is there. Starts the sequence. Dwyer. Trying to tap that down. The deflection went off the side of Zemanski's face as Kansas City able to keep possession. They have the stronger start. Portland has slowly worked back in, but there still hasn't been a lot on the table. As this cross sent to space by Sinovic for the goal kick. "27th minute, no score." This is the goal kick from Weber. We'll see the personnel decision for the second half. Caleb Porter will run with. Jake Gleason is here, and so is Justin Luthi, who's a trialist, who's in the Crew Academy system, wanting to run with 4 keepers in camp. A Portland foul here. Bieler's restart knotted down and on a couple of hops. There's Weber. Dwyer on the end of it. Jewsbury. Softly down Fernandez, but it was last off Schmetz. Here's the 12-year MLS veteran, finding Nagby. Johnson. Crumpled by Bieler and a Portland free kick. Closing in on the half hour. Arudi gonna earn the shove here. That's the 4th foul in the first half that Maxi Arudi has earned for Portland. Pesting his way into a good look. Inside of 30 yards on this free kick. A Portland team a year ago that had the 3rd most goals in the league with 54. There's a reason this game is scoreless right now. Airtight defense is 1 and 2 in the league last year. Johnson with a good rip, but too high. Kansas City's 47 goals was 7th in the league, but for the 2nd straight year, led the league in goals conceded, just 30. On the flip side, you had a Portland team with 15 ties, 14 shutouts led by Donovan Ricketts. He took home Goalkeeper of the Year honors. For the 2nd time in his career, he was slated to get the start tonight. But Weber at the last moment gets the go. High boot there leads to a foul and a free kick. This will be Bieler's doing. Majority of his goals coming into the first half, but he sets up the first one here tonight. Knotted in, looked like Zizzo to finish it. And Sporting Kansas City off the set piece. One of the Achilles heels of Portland last year. Coming up set piece goals. And it's 1-0 Sporting Kansas City in the 31st. So the defending champs take the 1-0 lead inside of 15 minutes to play in the first half. So it is Zizzo from Bieler. Bieler had the assist on the Sapong goal. That was on the 28th earlier in the week. 2 assists in 2 preseason games, and Zizzo, the former Timber, able to knot it to the top corner. Pinballed around Fernandez. Down below our vantage point. Duke is fouled by Arudi from behind. Well, do you have what it takes to run an MLS team? Test your skills by playing MLS Fantasy Soccer Manager. Game is fun and free to play. Visit MLSsoccer.com/fantasy to learn more. Zinovic stepped in on that ball intended for Al Hassan. Fell kindly to Fernandez. Look at this little run. Then he's tucked down outside off the penalty arc, and that is Collin, who picks up his 2nd yellow and is gone. The initial caution on the 13th minute, and 20 minutes later, he's sent off with a doozy of a run by Gaston Fernandez. And this free kick comes right on the tail of the penalty arc. So the night ends early for Colin. Of course, that would have been the case at the end of the half anyway. But now just 10 for Kansas City. They lead it. Fernandez tries to jam that through a bunch of blue shirts. It's cleared back over into Portland real estate. So Paulo Nagamura, in the absence of Colin, has dropped back. See if Portland's able to take advantage. Zemansky. Johnson. Here's Villafana. Good turn inside, but Kronberg keen and up to the task. Just one goal allowed in the CONCACAF Champions League through their group stage run. Sporting Kansas City, 2 wins and 2 ties. And Olympia from Honduras and Real Esteli from Nicaragua. Now they'll meet Cruz Azul in the quarters. That first game approaching on March the 12th. 10 minutes to play here in the first half. 31st minute set piece delivery from Bieler, finding the head of Zizou on the Kansas City goal. Now, Peter Vermees will make the personnel change. He's taking off Dom Dwyer. Lawrence Olam is on here in the 36th minute. You've got a booking here. Nagamura getting feisty, and Will Johnson, who from time to time likes to mix it up himself, in the middle of that.
Yellow card issued in the 36th minute to Portland's number 10, Gaston Fernandez.
It is Fernandez in the end who is the one who's cautioned. So we've seen 3 cards come out, 2 to Colin, who's been sent away. Olam slots into that right central defending position. Trying to poach out Nagby. The problem right now with those balls, get caught like a kite, hang up there in the wind. Al Hassan. Turning it across. Myers positions well, but his clearance only as far as Will Johnson. Foul, it'll be a Kansas City free kick. The wind at his back, Kronberg. Launching it right to the forehead of Ka. Bieler got a flick, Weber is there. Break down both these teams. When you hit the final third, it's really one clean look for Kansas City in the run of play. Goal coming off the set piece, ball remaining here. The Midwest Westerners. Ka helping out Ayler, who is the fallen body. Mentioning much of his offensive production coming in the first half of the season last year. A 10-game goal drought September the 7th. Starred for LDU Quito in Ecuador, so much so that Ecuador wanted him for the national team. He's got a touch there that he's mishit. Goal kick for Weber. Portland +1 in personnel after Collin, his second caution sent away. Kansas City with a 1-goal edge in the 31st minute. 6 minutes till halftime. Jewsbury, Schmetz did well there. Rudy stalking him. Been an interesting battle in the first half. Zamansky, Al-Hassad. Finds the fulcrum in Johnson. Duke anticipates well. Relief to Myers. Zizo. They really steer back inside of the Portland left back Villafaña and just get a touch on that. Claimed he was impeded. Nagamura. Sapong holding it up in a tripod of timbers and then trying to dish back to his left back, Sesanovic, but gives it away. Ayler. Nagamura quickly trying to extend wide. Zizo has support in Duke. Christian Duke, technically still a rookie. He did not make a senior appearance last year. Getting the go in the first 11 tonight. Myers was out of contract until 2 days ago. Signing a new deal. Sends this channel word for Sapong. It's Kansas City looking to set up their pressure. Weber. Put that into the wind, but it's held down well. Zamansky's pass for Rudy. Olam sliding over. Going back to Zamansky. Ka. Paparotto. Foul here on Kansas City. 42nd minute. 1-0. To the defending Cup champions. They'll resume in the CONCACAF Champions League. And they'll also be in next year's edition, starting up in August in group stage play. So will Portland. Change the rules around, and now they feel they have a sequence going through. The flag up, though. Recoiled back to Dagby, who tried to slip it back to Villafaña. The offside call sends it back to SKC. Before, if you were the MLS Cup runner-up, you would qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League, but that changed prior to 2013. A team from the other conference. Conversely, from the Supporters' Shield winner, got the bid. So Portland being in that category. Eagles taking home that top bid. Bowing out in the playoffs. Schmetz playing that away. Kansas City's road to the title. 4-3 aggregate victory in the conference semifinals over New England. And really with a slew of games in such a short span, having to play the first leg of the conference semifinals, which was a dud, a scoreless affair against Houston. They won the second leg 2-1. Earning the right to host in 20-degree temperatures. But in one of the crown jewel stadiums in the league. Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half here. Aurelian Collin with his second caution. He was sent off in the 31st minute. Goal coming shortly before that. Kansas City with 10, protecting the 1-goal lead. It's Portland looking for one final surge here at the end of the opening stanza. Sapong, the leak out, but reach just not there as Jewsbury looking to loop that in for Fernandez. He was on the end of one earlier that he headed wide. Zizo on the scamper. Zamansky there with help from Villafana and leaks it out. Weber's goal kick. Playing it short. Ka. Long for a Rudy and hits a nice volley. Somewhat of a half chance there with Kronberg. Coming up on the goal kick. We are in first half stoppage time, but the official number has been shown by the fourth official. Jewsbury and Ka, the opening touches off that. Olam. Low and on a roll for Duke. Weber. With the pressure there from Vieira, it's going to earn Kansas City a throw towards the final third. Second minute of first half stoppage time. 1-0 Kansas City lead. Vieira trying to make more of that than what there was with Ka. Back to the middle. Duke is fouled. Takes that away, and now the Timbers on the break for a Rudy. He flares it wide, back across. And with it, the first half in the books here at Keno Sports Complex, Lenore Stadium, Sporting Kansas City. A new keeper in Eric Kronberg. The same faces in the attack, and one who was very prevalent in the early portion of 2013, Claudio Vieira. Sets the table for the new acquisition, Sal Zizo. On a 31st minute goal, Aurelian Collin with two cautions set off in the 33rd minute. As Portland battled the wind That will change in the second half. So will many of the faces that take the field. Sporting Kansas City 1, Portland nothing here in our Desert Friendlies to commence the month of February in the 2014 MLS preseason. We'll step aside. More coming up in the second half here on MLSsoccer.com. underway here on MLSsoccer.com. Our desert friendlies commencing here on the opening day of February. Sporting Kansas City 1, Portland nothing. Neil Sika with you from Southern Arizona, Tucson, the site both these teams began their preseasons last year here. A lot of new faces on the field. Sporting Kansas City. They will face the wind. Shots were equal at 4 apiece in that first half, with 2 on target per side. Portland had Kansas City had the lone corner. Scored off the set piece, Zizo in the 31st minute. Kansas City with 10 fouls, 9 for Portland. 3 offside calls, all on Portland. As they threaten here, Andy Greenabaum is in goal for Kansas City as Frederic Piquillon launching that one high and nowhere close for the goal kick. Known as the Hebrew Hammer, he spent the first 8 years of his career in Columbus. And he is a Kansas City boy, Blue Valley North High School. The back line in front of him as he takes some pressure from Piquillon. Martinique international. He's got Meshach Jerome and Lawrence Olam in the central defense. And on a run here, the byline, it is Jerome who's brought down. Kevin Ellis, the right back, Josh Gardner, the left. Kansas City playing with 10. The 33rd minute, second caution to Collin sends him away. Kansas City has Pablo Puñet, who was a draft pick of theirs a few seasons ago. And Puñet, who played over in Iceland, he played at St. John's, is back. Salvadorian bloodlines, returning him to the midfield. That he'll work with Danny Earls, whose trial here brought into preseason camp for Sporting Kansas City. A couple of stints with the Rochester Rhinos, the young Irishman. Also had a couple of seasons with the Colorado Rapids. So Earls wears 32 in blue. It's Portland. And they're green. Here's Piquillon with Michael Nanshoff. The guy adding depth to the central midfield. Alvis Powell is the right back for Portland. As this is into the box, Greenabaum is there to scruff it up. Jacob Peterson, Suni Saad, and Teal Bunbury round out the Kansas City 11, or rather 10 here in the second half. This is Saad. A little bit of a stop and go. Portland has Rashawn McKenzie with Fudi Dansu in central defense. Mentioning Powell, he is the right back. Taylor P.A., the left back. He is a rookie out of the University of Washington. 26th pick in the draft. 4 minutes into this second half, 1-0 Kansas City. 31st minute goal from Sal Zizo. The free kick, Claudio Bieler with the assist. Powell. On up and forward. We're also getting a look at the rookie in Portland's first round pick, Shiloh Chuma from Maryland. He's got it right now. Very coachable kid. Generation Adidas player, just 2 seasons for the Terrapins. Really kind of a steal where they got him, the 17th pick. Josh Gardner, league journeyman, playing at the lower levels too, but worked his way into a consistent run here. Columbus, Montreal, and now Kansas City. Throw in the final third. Jake Gleason, that disclosed injury 23, or knock that prevented Donovan Ricketts from starting. Put Weber into first half action. Gleason, the young Kiwi, still just 23, got several minutes a couple years ago, going back to the Timbers' first MLS season. So he is in the goal to the right. That is Greenabaum. The release point to Olam. Snuck inside for Earls. He's got a nice little left foot, Danny Earls. Punyet and him teaming up in the central midfield. Ellis has run forward, and there is PA. He's got a very long stride from that left back roll. Bunbury. Peterson. Season. Battling shoulder surgery recovery early in the year. On the ball here for Ellis. Ellis, the homegrown signing. For those academy teams for well over 3 years, just 22. And at Barton County Community College, 52nd minute, 1-0 Kansas City, +1. Player personnel for Portland. Wind at their back, but trailing by a goal. Nanchoff. Jerome, the Haitian, slipping in, dispossessing. Punyet. Off to Peterson. Also out there for Portland, playing that second pivot role in the midfield. He's 36th pick in the draft out of UC Riverside. On a 4-hour drive from here. Ellis is the man down for Kansas City. There's Shiloh Chuma. To like about his game, 16 goals and 3 assists. Those 2 Maryland seasons. He's had some time with the U17s and the U23s of Zimbabwe. Ellis is all right. Back in it goes. Bunbury battling Rashawn McKenzie. That's long. The build goes all the way to Chuma. Got a good delivery there. The 2 attempts go beckoning, and it goes out wide. Piccione had the first run toward the post. Nanchoff coming in with the secondary effort. Kansas City under that Portland pressure now, really pushing for the tying goal. 10 minutes played here in the second half. Earls. There's that left foot trying to toe poke to Peterson. Kept it in play. McKenzie to cut it off. There's the rookie left back from Washington, PA. George Folkive, the Parisian born, but honed his craft at Connecticut. Third-round pick in the 2014 draft. He's also in that midfield for Portland here in the second half. Chuma, pressure, Earls goes dancing behind. Here's Long, like his namesake, has a rangy frame on him. Folkive from McKenzie, looking for the Powell run, but too much. Zizzo's goal, the difference. Came in the 31st minute. William Collin was sent off in the 33rd. In the second half, looking for a bit of rhythm. Portland has their full complement. Kansas City down a body. Jerome, Ellis, and now Earls. Jerome trying to pick out Peterson there. The second-year player in the league, has 22 caps with Haiti. He's 23 years of age. Ellis appeared in 2 senior matches in 2013 on the toss in. Ripples aside to Olam. He came on after Collin was dismissed. Saad trying to angle that across. Long here, out of play with Ellis back in for Jerome in Kansas City, leading it 1-0 in the 58th. Nanchoff applying the pressure. Greenbaum's outlet to Olam. Saad tucks inside nicely. Interesting ball for Peterson. Lepay does his job well. Running stride for stride with the Indiana product, the Washington Husky. Relinquishes off to McKenzie and further to Dansu. Using the wind as an aid. Picquion will earn a corner kick here. Sporting Kansas City fans, gear up for the 2014 season and show your support in sporting style. The team's online store at shop.sporting.kc.com to secure your official merchandise, including MLS Cup Championship items. Free shipping available on all orders over $50. Rattles on through. We'll stay with the Timbers. We'll play out the week here and head back for their own preseason tournament. Kansas City has Orlando on the horizon. Disney Pro Soccer Classic. Battling the win, that was Jerome. And the tightrope on the byline to play it away. We've played an hour at the Keno Sports Complex. Defending MLS Cup champion Sporting Kansas City, a 1-0 lead. They had that at the half. Points out west in the regular season last year for the Portland Timbers, and second-year coach Caleb Porter, what a season it was. Could not solve Real Salt Lake in the end on 2 occasions. MLS Cup playoffs and the US Open Cup. Suni Saad, he really had a nice mid-season into the fall last year. Got a lot of minutes. Unyed and Gardner form that tripod before it's switched to Jerome, who was looking for the streaking Bunbury. Long. Ian Fokhive hanging low. Also got Nikita Kotloff, the 73rd pick toward the tail end of the draft this year out of Indiana. These youngsters getting minutes, getting looked at. Veteran Greetemont here to Jerome. Jerome for Ellis. Laid off last by PA. Unyed on the hustle over. Olam. Foul called. In the 62nd minute. Portland next in action. 2 o'clock Mountain Time on Wednesday. They'll take on Houston Dynamo. Preceding it will be Seattle and San Jose. So those 5 clubs making their way in for their early preseason games. Going to pick out Chuma, but Ellis knocked it out. Kansas City, they've been down a man since the 33rd with Collins second. 2 minutes prior to that, the goal. Zizo from Claudio Bielo. Reinforcements on both ends in the second 45. Dancing. Actually in the doghouse to start last season, then pulled off consecutive starts to the middle portion of the year. And got hurt late summer with a foot injury, missed 9 games, but then started the last 6. second-round pick, 2016 draft sent to Columbus. 1-0 Kansas City here in the 66 minutes. Dancy. Long and out of the range of Chuma. Portland hoping to win some silverware this year, but they already have it in the legs of the NWSL team, the Portland Thorns. See Alex Morgan, Christine Sinclair, and the rest of the Thorns all summer long. Season tickets start at just $10 for a game. Visit PortlandThornsFC.com to reserve your seats. The run by Nanshaw. Extending tackle and rolling free. Better degree. Get out to Earls. To be given to a guy like Matty Beasley, running time back and forth with the national team. He is right now with the Rams, who's failed up. 68th minute, Greenabaum with Mickey Owens talking. Peterson rising. Long curls, skyward. Yeah. 'Tries his luck here, but well defended. They move so well. Really through the spine of their midfield. It doesn't faze them if they are down a man. Trying to break down those two banks of four right now. And they take it over midfield, the Timbers. Michigan State man, McKenzie. Chuma. Tried to hack at it on the second attempt, but Ellis stood with it. Bunbury hoping to return to some of that early form and still his very young career. The fourth pick out of Akron in 2010. Kotloff is fouled. Bunbury spent 15 games sitting last season recovering from that left ACL tear that he had at the tail end of 2012. There's PA. Chuma. In the space of three, loves to take bodies on. Here's Long in a physical battle with Bunbury. And shows his merit there. 36th pick in the draft, all Big West first team. He had 6 goals in 2012. Long will leak that wide. Will be a Portland throw. "20 minutes remaining. A balmy 55 degrees in the desert. Winds anywhere from 11 to 15 miles an hour. Portland with the wind at their back. Kansas City playing with 10 since minute 33. McKenzie. Dansu, but a lot of this. Passing between the back line and a direct ball. Piccione finds Nanshaw, but there's Greenabaum going to his left. Excellent reaction guy, a great shot stopper. Led the league in saves in his banner year of 2012. Single-handedly kept the Crew in the playoff race for much of that season. The additions of Higuain and Arrieta. Kansas City has made a substitution. That's Dante Marini. He wears number 34. The little guy, just 5'3", out of Northeastern. Undrafted and getting a look here. Coming on for Earls. 72nd minute. PA, the left back. Long. As the two rookies methodically go back and forth. A third and Fokive. There's Powell. He was brought in from Portmore United, speaking of a team that'll be in the Timbers preseason tournament. Came in June of last year. Saw time in 5 games with 4 starts. Play is swung back now to the middle. Long. Dictating things. Good composure from this guy. Manshoff was hanging around inside the penalty area. So was Kotloff, but that cross got turned away. McKenzie just out of the reach of PA. 1-0, Kansas City. Here in the 74th minute. Olam. Here's Marini. Chuma doing well to close down that clearance effort by Ellis. The foul awarded. Nanshoff playing that behind Piccione. He scored that goal in the playoffs, the first leg of the Western Conference Final, that gave Portland a little bit of life heading home. After they were trailing 4-1 in that one, it was 4-2 heading back to Jeld-Wen Field. Salt Lake would take the 1-0 victory on the second leg. Munbury, his run here, going to earn Kansas City a free kick. 15 minutes left. Dealt with Portland's possession pretty well here in the second half. To the back post, Gardner was open and heads it wide. Saad took the free kick. Go out for a Jake Gleason goal kick. Gleason played in 9 reserve games for the Timbers last year. The 23-year-old was 3-3-3. Part of that Olympic qualifying process with New Zealand and the All Whites in 2012. Footy Dansu on that foul that led to that chance we just saw. Picked up the caution. Alex Martinez has come on for Sporting Kansas City. You just saw him come on. He's out of North Carolina State, 3rd round pick. And the draft held a month ago. His brother Enzo had a standout career at North Carolina. He's on the Real Salt Lake roster in his second year. The boys were raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Born in Uruguay. Many have on their radar in this World Cup year. 77th minute, 1-0. Kansas City. The lead, playing with 10. Punyan exits while Martinez is on. And this is Martinez, feathering that pass to Saad. Ellis. Bunbury. A deft touch that goes out of play. Sporting Kansas City will open their season on the 8th of March. When they head to Seattle, that should be a good one. Seattle just wrapping up their deal to acquire Marco Papa. Sporting Lisbon officially signed, got all the paperwork done to claim Freddie Montero after a year out on loan. Olam. Gardner, just hoping for something to happen as Powell took a pop from Saad. But the referee, Bernard Hosu, said that Powell instigated. Or rather, Saad was the guilty party, so it is a Portland restart. PA. Lost it in the mix there. Jerome has had a lot of work come his way on that near sideline. Picquion, he's dropped very deep here. A goal and 5 assists in his first season in Stumptown. Ellis has been trying to connect with Bunbury. McKenzie and Dansu have held him off. Fokive, Nanshoff. McKenzie, 12 minutes left. With second half stoppage time as well. 1-0 Kansas City lead. It's held up since the 31st minute. PTFC, that chant that echoes throughout the venerable venue. Used to be known as Multnomah Park, Geldwen Field, and there are a good number of Timbers supporters here in Tucson. Getting an early look at their club. Results really secondary in these preseason games, especially this early. The proverbial building up the fitness. Getting guys to buy into the system, to adapt to the system. Both these clubs with a lot of high octane depth and firepower. Can defend, can counter, they can pretty much do it all. That's why there are two to keep an eye on going into 2014. Well, this is Bunbury, and he's walking off gingerly. And he will give way for another Kansas City substitution. It'll be Adnan Gablicic out of St. Louis. He was a Billiken. Comes on with a 14-goal, 7-assist career for that proud program. 38th pick in the draft. So Bunbury's night is done. 9 minutes remaining. And second half stoppage time. Portland still trailing by a goal. McKenzie with too much on that pass for Powell. This is Gabe Legic. He had a nice run initially. Saad now trying to win it back from Nanshoff. Dansu. He's now come over to the left side of central defense. Kind of a reactionary measure. Bunbury was working that side with McKenzie over there, but now that Gabe Legic is there, McKenzie follows, and he's done well. Here in the 83rd. Here's Gardner, he tucks inside, Marini. Peterson. On the build and overlap from Ellis, and Peterson kind of shanks that into the sky. And Gleason, with it holding up in the air, starts the break to Powell. He's drifted inside. An interesting ball, but Nanshoff was never going to get there. As Peterson does his part to return it to the keeper, Greenabaum. Greenabaum again, under that Portland pressure. Marini gives this away. Long, good chip, Fokive, ties it. It is 1-1. Given away under the pressure. And a fantastic pass. It is actually Chuma making that run down the boulevard. Long lofting it beautifully. And it's 1-1 in the 84th minute. Well, this is why they're so high on Shiloh Chuma. He has really stood out so far in just a week plus of the preseason. He's playing mostly on that left side. They tuck him in there. And off the giveaway. Playing with one more body, Portland is finally able to break through. So 5 minutes left, 1-1. Gleason. Still time to maybe search out a winner. Fokive. Chuma trying to tie up another run. He has moved up to that forward roll centrally. And finished with a plum. Here's Marini. Stumbling on through, and it's taken away. Pia. Circled back by Saad. Jerome. Martinez. For Ellis's run into the channel. The bigger Dansu shepherds it away. 84th minute, Chuma from long, the two rookies. Nanchoff beckoning out the cadence, wanting Portland to get moving. 87th minute, 1-1. McKenzie. Nanchoff, here's Powell. Hurdled the Gardner challenge and ends up earning a corner. Third of the second half for the Timbers. As one might expect, having a lot of one-way traffic here in the second 45. Picquione rose, that got partially deflected. And it will remain with Portland. Nanchoff to do the honors here in the 88th minute. Rising up was PA. Dansu, they got spun around. It'll go out for a Kansas City goal kick. Greenbaum. Going to sport number 30 when you can actually read the jersey numbers. Some of these guys only have them on the front in their practice gear. Same number he wore in Central Ohio. Hard tackle, Nanchoff, and he's booked for it. Went in on Gardner. So that's the second Timbers caution in the second half. Dansu the other about 10 minutes ago. 89th minute, 1-1. Sal Zizzo from Claudio Bieler in the 31st. And the 84th, Shiloh Chuma, rookie from Maryland. On the assist from Aaron Long, the two 21-year-olds teaming up to tie it. Brilliant Collins' second yellow has put Kansas City a man down since the 33rd. Ellis got stepped on there by Chuma and gave away the ball. Kotloff into PA. Fokive. McKenzie. Get it right to Olam. He's been on the field, probably playing more than what he was originally going to be allotted with 45 minutes after Collin was sent off. Long goes down, tumbleweeding to the turf. A free kick for Portland. Surging off the momentum of the goal 5 minutes ago. We're in the final minute of the 90. Here in Tucson. Nanchoff's delivery. Kotloff popped it out of play. A Kansas City goal kick. I think our great crew, Dave Keevil and his staff all over the grounds. Fine job, and more desert friendlies. The Desert Cup later on in the month still to come out here in Tucson. Back at you with 2 on Wednesday. Kotloff, nice little run here. Greenbaum, a phenomenal save. Keeps it at 1. Portland will keep the ball. In the closing moments here, as we're into second half stoppage time. Dansu. Chuma. Nanchoff. Up in the air. As Greenbaum comes forward, puts the clamps on it. close to putting a bow on this one. Nanshoff, as it came down off the forehead of Gablijic. One last push here for Portland. Fokive. Taylor, PA. Footy Dansu. Picayune rising. Jerome battling. Giving up at least 3 inches there. Collision in the middle. It leaves Saad down and in a little bit of pain, but he's right back up. Seven shots for the Timbers. The 5 belong to Kansas City. Both teams have used the wind as their aid. Kansas City scoring off a set piece. Portland, as they so brilliantly exhibited last year, through the run of play after a giveaway from the pressure. A foul on Alex Martinez of Kansas City earning the free kick. Marini able to get to that. Gablijic on back Olam. Trying to keep it in play. It will go out. There's Peterson. Combination with Martinez. The rookie from St. Louis looking across, and it just sails over the head of Suni Saad. He's taken in a weighted lottery because he decided to come out after his draft year and class. And on the throw back in, that'll conclude our first desert friendly between two MLS clubs with very high aspirations going into 2014. They're going to also play in a lot of competitions. Open Cup, CONCACAF Champions League. Kansas City with the better of the play in the first half despite going down a man. They led 1-0 at the break. Portland scoring late. And the exciting rookie, Shilo Chuma from Aaron Long in the 84th tied it at 1. And that is the final here tonight from Aquino Sports Complex North Stadium. Got a reminder, on Wednesday we're back with the next 2 editions of these Desert Friendlies in Preseason Tucson 2014. 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Things will kick off with San Jose and Seattle, followed by the Portland Timbers taking on the Houston Dynamo. Teams will rest up, get back in action, and enjoy another week out here in the desert. A chilly night in the desert, but we're glad you were along for it. Sporting Kansas City won. Portland won the final. For our great crew, this is Neil Sika saying so long from Tucson.